like that concept is crazy to me. Like, we're cool with people being like, I'm invading this space, shooting guns, killing people to an extent. Like, you know what I mean? Like, you take it too far, you're gonna go to trial for war crimes, but like, why is there even a space between like there
That's an
and
interesting point,
you know,
right?
like, why is it okay for them to just come take this land anyways? Like,
That's what's weird about the Ukraine war right now is that it's not that far away. It's because we can see it right. It's right on your phone.
I know, but even I was just talking to someone else about this. It's already like the performatism in this country is wild. People will be like, I support this. Oh my God. Reshare, post. It's flooding the system. And then 2-3 weeks later, it's like completely gone from the news. And it's like, and I even was like, wow, would this even be on my mind still if I didn't know somebody that lives in Ukraine? Like,
You know somebody that's out there?
they've already come back and they're safe and they're sound. Their family is situated, but it was on the forefront of my mind because someone I love was there. And I was having those moments all the time where I'm like, damn, like war happens every day. And it's just not on the forefront of my mind because it doesn't affect me like directly, you know? And it's like, you can go on the internet and learn about things, but until it's like shoved at you, it's like, I didn't even think twice about it. And like, would I even be noticing that the headlines have ceased to include Ukraine if, again, I wasn't like directly tied to it?
That's crazy. I couldn't imagine actually being out there. Were they out there when it started? Or did they manage to get out before?
They were there at a pretty crazy time in the city, and I was very worried. And I also just kept having those like moments where I'm like, damn, yo, you read books about like war stories and you are so disconnected from it. And you think that like the way people used to like drop bombs on cities is like a thing of the past. And it's like, absolutely not. People are still just dropping bombs on cities. Like,
And just shooting civilians.
yeah, like
You hear stories about that.
crazy. I mean, now I think they're gonna like, they're like going to war jail or whatever. Whatever
Well,
that's
they're
called.
trying. I know they started trying, or they just found him guilty today, a Russian soldier for war crimes. But the guy looks like he's maybe
See, but
18.
yeah, I saw that. But it like that concept is crazy to me. Like, we're cool with people being like, I'm invading this space, shooting guns, killing people to an extent. Like, you know what I mean? Like, you take it too far, you're gonna go to trial for war crimes, but like, why is there even a space between like there
That's
and
an interesting point,
you know,
right?
like, why is it okay for them to just come take this land anyways? Like I thought,
Well, and we're saying, okay, you can drop bombs, but if you gas anybody,
yeah, but
then we're gonna have a
don't
problem.
take
That's
it
a
too
great point.
far. Like,
You've got this line. We're gonna let you shoot people. Yeah, you can kill a few civilians, but if you start gassing people,
yeah, like what? Who even decided that? And then like,
that's
why
weird. I've never thought about
does
that.
all that space even exist? Like, in my head, like before there were like laws and ideas around like wars and stuff, I was like, why? Like, you can take land, cool, right? It's oldie times. It's like the 1300s. Everyone's like invading and taking land, and I was like, I thought we were just set on like the borders now. Like, everyone's just happy with the land they have, and like
Today.
yeah, today, now, by now, we're good. We don't need to like go take land from people anymore. Like, just chill. Everyone has somewhere to be. Like,
Yeah, apparently not. Apparently we are not okay with that.
yeah.
I don't know. What do you do about that? Do you just let it play out? Do you intervene? There's not really a safe answer.
I mean, in my experience, you can kind of change anything. It just takes a lot of work and generally a lot of paperwork or like signatures from people that hold power. And it's like, if you've got the time and energy, go for it.
What freaks me out is that it doesn't seem like we are doing anything to de-escalate. It seems like we're doing a lot to just keep the progression of what's going on going on.
Yeah, I mean, I think it's just like a double edged sword. that basically we look like assholes because we can't really help, because ultimately we don't want to end up in a shithole, which I'm like 100%. I'm like, I understand taking that stand, right? And like, our country is already falling apart. Like,
We've got a lot of problems.
yeah, I'm like, we don't have anything to be stepping up to do anything for anybody. But then the other side of me is like, fuck that shit. But that's not why I'm not president, you know, because I'd be like, save everybody. Like, that's not nice.
Well, we've definitely done a lot. I think it just came out a week or two ago that, we've been providing a lot of intelligence to Ukraine that's led to like
Oh,
some
okay.
absurd number of Russian generals being killed.
My lord.
And we provided them, I believe, with the intelligence that got that Russian flag warship blown up. Like
Yeah. But then I'm
we've
like,
been doing a lot.
what does any of that even do? Are we just digging the hole more? Now someone's mad at us because we like killed their father and now they're stepping up to be general. Like,
Yeah, that's my fear with the escalation. Is it seems like we're not helping
yeah.
damper the problem.
Because really what we should have done is just, well, actually, I don't know. I
What are you
guess
gonna say?
I would have maybe just like sent some planes to pick some people up, sent some resources to the countries that have picked up refugees, and just try to get everyone out instead of like blowing more people up.
And just let Russia take Ukraine.
I mean, that's why I'm not president.
I didn't say that was a bad idea.
Because I'm like, I mean, for me, not living there, not being connected to there, I'm like, yeah, let them have that land. But also, it's like, if I was from there, I'd be like, screw you, you can't have my land. So, I don't know. Trick question, because I don't really know the answer at all.
Yeah, there's one line of thinking that if Russia does get Ukraine, they're not gonna stop.
Right? They'll just keep. I mean, naturally.
Yeah.
Because why would they? It worked.
I don't know. My worry is that everyone is so callous about going back into war. There's a lot of talk of we should just engage with Russia, that we need to start providing these weapons so that Ukraine can start attacking Russia. And again, that freaks me out because that's a big step, and I don't think people realize that there would be a lot of casualty with that war.
Well,
and
I
not
mean,
just Ukrainians. I mean, we haven't sent
the world.
Yeah, but we haven't sent soldiers. I mean, Afghanistan, yeah, but if we went to war with Russia, a lot of people would die.
Well, that's what I'm saying, and I'm like, our country's not even healed from the fucking Vietnam War, and
we're not even healed from COVID.
And I'm like, let alone anything else that's come after that. Like, you know what I mean? Like, people are not made for war or to be treated like machines in the face of war. I'm like, that's wild. And yeah, that's why I'm like, I feel like everyone was like, we don't know how to help you because none of us are in the position to go to World War III.
And it's crazy the amount of money we're just throwing at the problem. We're talking, I want to say $40 billion.
The fake money.
What fake money?
Well, I'm just saying, like,
oh, that money is fake.
Money.
Yeah. It's fake until you get to 40 billion, because 40 billion here could solve a lot of problems.
I mean,
we could do a lot of good.
I think
that's
anybody
a lot of money
that knows can agree that the military budget spent in this country is ridiculous for the amount of zero problem solving that it does.
Yeah, right.
I'm like, all the money that goes to anyone that's like been a vet or like worked in the service, I'm there for that. I hope you're making all the money off America and fucking basically giving your mind and body to the country.
We should be doing more for them.
But a lot of it goes to like shit that I just don't think.
A lot of it goes to leaving weapons and vehicles just around.
Yeah,
just
see,
around.
it should be going to like the vets or.
Yeah, and those no bid contracts where these defense suppliers.
I do remember that. I had a Spanish teacher in high school who was like a conspiracist, and whenever she like wasn't really in the mood, I guess, to teach, she would like she would show movies. So we watched that movie that they made that was all about like the government contracts and like basically people like swindling the country out of money. And it was all about them, like buying tanks and leaving them in the desert or blowing them up on like no mission, like trucks exploding or whatever. And yeah, I remember she showed us that.
It's crazy. It's insane. There's no argument we waste money. I think the military, for better or worse, does need a big budget because I still believe in the idea of a big stick. I think that's a valuable concept. But we definitely waste a lot, and we
Yeah.
don't take care of vets in the way that we should.
Mm.
And I don't think they get treated in the way that they should.
Yeah, I
Because if you're
agree.
willing to sacrifice, that's not just
Well, especially since like back in the day, you didn't even have a choice. Like you would just get drafted if you were able-bodied of a certain
for like
age.
World War II.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And it's like, bro, what? I had dreams. At least now you can make that decision. You know, if you're passionate about joining the military to some extent, because you also don't have to be like out in the desert. Like you could be a tech person. Like there's lots of whatever. So I'm like, cool, that's great. You know, you can make that choice. But there's like whole generations of people that got their like futures taken from them.
And the futures of their kids, right?
Yeah, I mean, they don't, if they even had kids. Some of them were just boys.
What freaks me out is those burn pits that they had. I don't know if it was in Afghanistan or Iraq, but they would just burn all the waste from the bases,
Yeah,
and it's
wild.
soldiers out there burning it, and they've got cancers and these diseases that are just insane because they're breathing in this toxic air from this burn pit.
Wild.
And who okayed that? Who's like, you know what? I've got an idea.
Of all the money we have, let's save some.
Yeah, we're just gonna create these burn pits.
Oh God! And
I
can you
think they're
imagine what
still
that
doing that.
smells
Oh.
like?
Not as bad as the cancer that's gonna develop in 5 minutes.
Wild. I'm like, yeah. I'm like, not enough money to the vets, not enough resources. Everybody needs therapy and all the other things after you go to war. I'm like, none of it's done well.
Yeah, I don't know how you solve that problem either.
Psh, I don't know.
But I know going to war with Russia is not gonna.
Yeah.
That's not the
Moral of the
I don't know how to
story.
fix it, but I know
Yeah.
that doing that is not gonna help.
Moral of the story: no war with Russia.
Yeah.
Wild.